I've hooked into a monster. Oh my God.
Whitewater Canyon into Northwest Territory.
Heading back for another solo adventure in the Yukon Mackenzie Divide country. This time, I'd tackle a 575 kilometer long route on 3 rivers, the Natla, Keel, and mighty Mackenzie. The Natla is an advanced level whitewater river, and this year, the area saw a late spring. With snow still in the mountains, the water levels were high, making this advanced level whitewater river even more challenging. There's over 900 million square hectares of true wilderness in the Mackenzie Mountains. It lies well off the road system, tucked up into the northwestern part of Canada. My plan was to jump on several flights to land in Norman Wells, a remote community on the Mackenzie River. From Norman Wells, I'd board a float plane and fly off right to the Yukon Mackenzie Divide, where I'd be deposited in a small wilderness lake. From there, I'd begin my 575 kilometer journey, starting first with the challenging whitewater of the Natla River.
Well, there we go. My float plane just took off and left me completely all alone on this beach deep in the Mackenzie Mountain wilderness. And it's kind of an interesting feeling being left all alone in the wilderness by a float plane. When it takes off, it's just you, and I have 575 kilometers to travel in front of me. Territories! One of the beautiful things here is we have pretty much 24 hours of daylight. The sun does dip below the horizon for a bit, but it never really gets dark. So that's kind of something I have going for me. So I'm probably gonna paddle till like 9 p.m., make camp pretty quick, and get to bed in a couple hours, and I'll be up at 6 a.m. after a solid 7-hour sleep, so that's pretty good. Okay, what do we got here? This is borderline a rapid. No problem there, just ran her nice and slow. Look at Eddie, wow, a little gravel bar. Actually take a momentary break here. First fish of the trip. Looks like, ooh, a chunky grayling, yum. Arctic grayling, baby. Yummy. I got them first, and then I pinch my thumbnail up against its spine, and then I get a grip on it. Yeah. Hey, nice. That's a Dolly Varden, baby. Awesome. Look at those colors. Wow, this looks incredible. Look at that. Wow, look at that. That's unreal.
Another tributary. Oh yeah.
Woo! The big Grayling. Yeah, beauty. Woo! Dodgily dodge. Tricky one here. Should have stayed right. Yeah. This river is crazy. I think I'm gonna pull over. I have no time to look at the map or even see where I am. Oh, intense. Well, I've hooked into a monster.
Oh, it's a beast. Oh, it's running my drag right out. It's gonna go for another run.
Oh my God, it's huge. Woo! Look at that. Yeah. Up you go. An absolute beast of a dolly. All right, well, this big boy is going right back in the water. Love it. What a fish. What an absolute tank. Woo! Yeah! And a nice good release too. I stayed with it, made sure it had lots of energy before I let the tail go, and it swam off with a lot of pep. So it's good to, after a big fight like that, it's good to let them take a minute to revive. So pretty cool. But yeah, what a beast. Wow, as if that beast is just swimming around right in here. So awesome. Yeah, missed everything. Nice. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Woo! And I just came down river a couple hundred meters and it looks like I found a beautiful spot with an eddy. There might be some fish here, and there's a little waterfall trickling down, huge mountains in the background, and it looks high enough that I'll stay dry. So yeah, I think this is gonna be home for the night. Oh, awesome spot. Well, I think I'm gonna finish this up and just crawl into bed. I don't know what time it is right now. It never gets dark here, but I'm gonna guess it's probably like 10:30, which isn't bad. So if I get a good night's sleep, get up at 6 a.m. I'll get it on the water tomorrow and I'll tackle what will be by far the most intense rapids yet. Okay, it is the morning of day 2 on the Natla River. This is just so beautiful. The Grand Canyon's cool, but the true wilderness and the north, there's just something about it that just calls to me again and again. Anyways, today is gonna be pretty intensive whitewater day, to say the least. I gotta be on my toes today, get dialed in and just, you know, go for it. Make sure I scout when I can and try not to dump. If I can get through that, it'll be a little smoother sailing. So, you know, the whitewater's fun and all, but it's also fun to get through it and put it behind you, especially when it's such high risk when you're alone out here. Paddling whitewater alone in such a remote area definitely comes with its share of dangers. Significantly more dangerous, significantly more terrifying than when you're with a group of people. We are jumping into some fun stuff right off the hop today. Well, this 100-meter stretch is kind of the calm before the storm. I got to dodge a bunch of boulders, get far left here, hug the canyon wall, run the wave train. Wow, an actual place to pull over. Consume some H2O. This is high quality H2O. What movie's that from? Still some tight little turns that need to be made to dodge boulders. And I am coming up to a very tight corner right now. Fortunately, it looks like the drop in the river isn't too substantial here, so I won't get like pushed up against the wall. Like, look at this, boulder, 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 boulder. Whoa, didn't see that one. The lines of strata are almost vertical here. Wonder what forces created that kind of upheaval. Look at this creek pouring down here. Isn't that incredible?
One thing I've learned is you read the water. As soon as you see something open, you make a decision and you go for it right away hard. Another boulder garden, oh my God, okay. Don't mind if I do. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. We're in between two mountain ranges here. On the left are the Logan Mountains, and on the right are the Selwyn Mountains. So we're not too far from Mount Logan, which is the highest peak in Canada and the largest mountain in the world as far as the area that its base covers. It's bigger than Mount Everest.
Okay, I'm gonna scout this rapid. From here, it doesn't even look like there's a way down. It looks like just a line of boulders, like a wall. I don't even know for sure if this is the marked, like, intense class 3. It doesn't look like a class 3 to me, but it's better safe than sorry because it's a completely blind corner. Hey, bear! Hey, bear! Look at this beautiful iron-rich tributary pouring in right here, right into the rapids, making all the rocks red.
Okay, just scouted this out. Very boulder-strewn technical run. I kind of got to thread the needle a couple times, but I think I can do it. This is the easiest of the 3 rapids I'm going to be running today. Tricky currents in there.
Okay, going to scout this one. It looks pretty intense and long, so I'm gonna give it a good scout and make sure that I know where to go. It is definitely a runnable rapid, but pretty high flows right now, so it's going to be some big waves and some technical maneuvers. I'm telling you guys, this is way more terrifying when you're completely alone out here running stuff like this. There's no one to help you out at all.
Well, here's the first part. Looks like I'm gonna have to avoid that boulder there. Stay left of it. I can't go far right. Stay left of it, and then the rapid disappears.
Well, I have what is by far the most intense rapid yet of the trip in front of me, and it's super long. I have it marked as called Triple Crown, and there's 3 big drops here. So I'm gonna just go for it. I'm feeling a bit nervous, but I think I can do it.
Woo. Okay, I gotta get left hard here. Get it. Okay, now it's a boulder dodge with some big waves. Oh, rock. All right, awesome. Nailed it. Oh my God, look at the cage. I love these little trickling waterfalls pouring in every once in a while. Like this. This is a spring. Oh, cool. Wow. Natural spring coming right out of the canyon. Yeah, got a little sketchy there with the boulders. There we go. A notable rapid, but nothing too crazy. Woo! Yeah! Whoa, Action Jackson, baby. Whoa! There's a rapid. Yeah! Woo! Yeah! That was pretty much a class 3. Some holes to avoid in there. Yeah. Awesome. That's a marked rapid. Well, I got a lot of water in here now. Whoa. Almost dumped. Yeah! Woo! That was awesome! Oh my goodness, what a fun run! Started panicking. I got a lot of water in here from those big wave trains, and almost dumped. Managed to save it with a low brace, and then I got worried because I had another set of big waves and pushy river downstream, but that's what was around the blind corner, a big wave train. Nothing I couldn't manage, but then after that, strong current, so nowhere to get over to bail. And fortunately, I just had to really get dialed in and paddle hard in this heavily swamped boat and miss all the big stuff on the right, which I did no problem, but I had to get my serious game face on there. That was awesome. Well, yeah, I made it through the upper whitewater stretch on the Natla River, baby. No dumps and no portages. Anyways, I'm just gonna cruise for a bit and look for a decent spot to camp. Maybe I could find somewhere where the fishing's decent, or who knows, maybe there's a good fishing spot along the way. We'll see.
Here is the spot. Looks like it was a suitable spot for this caribou to roam. I've made it 40 kilometers total now. I'm supposed to be making it an average of over 36 kilometers a day, and it's the end of day 2, so not ideal, but I don't really know how much faster I could have made it through that stretch safely. I'm proud of what I did today, putting that behind me, no dumps, running like endless amounts of technical stuff. Pretty good, pretty darn good. We've got some crazy clouds moving in, and you can see rain back there. Probably a good idea to set up a tarp. It's an ultra light tarp, but it's a good size. It's made by Adotech. They make the bear locker food storage bag that I use as well. I actually got this because I was thinking about doing some hiking and maybe bivvying up for a night in the mountains. With my knee being bunged up, I never did that, but I wanted to try this thing out anyways. Well, sure tested its strength against this blasting wind. For something so light and thin, I'm really impressed. As you can see, it's standing up to a really strong wind, so that's good. Sometimes the ultralight stuff might not be as strong, but this seems to be strong. Yeah, check out Adotech's ultralight tarp, it's great.
Really raining. I'm glad I finished dinner when I did.
My alarm didn't go off, I guess, because I was sleeping on top of it. I didn't hear it. So it's 7:30. I'm supposed to get up at latest 6:30. Oh well. Not a very nice day today, but at least the rain is holding off for now.
It is very windy and rainy. Off and on rain. Looks like it's going to be maybe more consistent rain. I got to decide, do I wear my dry suit today? Maybe I'll wear my dry suit, just the bottoms, and then my tootsies don't get so cold when they climb in and out of the canoe. I'm not going to get much sunlight today, but just in case, I want to get this puppy charged. I only have 1% battery left. This is the Blue Eddy AC2P, and it's 300 watts and 230.4 watt hours. It's got 2 USB keys, a USB-C, 2 ACs. I typically don't use the ACs because they draw a little bit more power. I stick to the DC. This is just super light, and the reason I had to bring this one is because I can take it on the plane, on the commercial airline. This can go with my carry-on, where the airlines are starting to crack down on some of the larger lithium batteries. So you have to try to mail them dangerous goods, and it just gets more challenging. So I got to stay on charging this. You know, I don't have a whole ton of power in reserve when I'm, you know, flying the drone and stuff like that. But as long as I do, what a great thing for trips like this. I'm going to set this up despite the fact that it is very cloudy. Maybe we'll get some sun, and even if I only get like 5% all day, that's better than nothing. So I keep this waterproofed in a pack, and then I roll the dry bag up like that, leaving the charging cable coming out the side, and then I tuck away that dry bag, and then I set up my solar panel on the top of my canoe. All right, day 3, baby, on the water. What does this day have in store? I'm gonna try to find some clear water tributaries today, hopefully. Oh my goodness, look at this magical fishing hole here, everyone. Hopefully there's some whale dollies in here. See how the current pushes in the clear water and creates this big clear back eddy here. On second thought, this tributary isn't as clear as I thought it was at first, but still it's clear enough. And typically on these rivers, spots like this are loaded full of Arctic grayling, and I haven't even seen a fish, how to follow, how to bite, so somewhat concerning. Anyways, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm not gonna give up, and I imagine the fishing will pick up on the keel, which is, for the upper stretches anyways, a clear water river. So if I can't catch fish, I can sort of eat other things, but I definitely plan fish for a lot of dinners, for over half of my dinners. So, and then for the ones that, like, I just brought like backup not yummy food in case I didn't catch any fish for the other half. So anyways, here I'll make do, but I think I'm gonna move on here. I don't want to waste too much more time. Just going through a little section of braided river here with all kinds of islands, and it's a little tricky to know which way is the best route, and of course it's always different than what it shows on the map, because these braids, you know, they're always changing and moving from year to year, definitely decade to decade. And these maps were made with aerial surveys probably in like the 70s, so you know, braided sections of river and in general won't be the same. Low bridge. Notice how much more heavily forested it is than just yesterday, and that has a lot to do from just coming down a little bit more in elevation. yeah. Yeah, baby. Woo! Got one, barely hooked. Small one, but it's a fish. I think I'm gonna go fill up my water bottle in this clear mountain snow runoff creek. Of course, every beach has some kind of track on it. Tastes almost distilled. Very little flavor, it's just snow runoff. Now, you're not supposed to just like drink water without treating it, but I do it sometimes. I have had giardia twice, but I didn't really know what I was doing when I got giardia twice, so I never had an issue drinking off a pure mountain runoff stream like this. Oh, that's a good size one. Arctic grayling, baby. Such a cool fish.
Oh yeah. Looks like my crappy fishing days have come to an end. I'd say that was a pretty good little pit stop.
I can smell the beaver castor. Beavers have these little glands and they excrete castor. It was traditionally one time used in vanilla. It's kind of a pleasant, sweet aroma. You've probably smelt it before in the bush, not really knowing what that smell was, or thought it was the smell of beaver chewed sticks like poplar when you peel the bark off of it. That's what I used to think it was, but it's the actual smell of the castor. What do we have here? Is that a stick? Like a caribou antler. Pretty big one too. Here's something I'm kind of surprised to see, a jet boat. And it looks like the remains of an old sort of shack of sorts, but we're on a portion of river here that's pretty deep with a big back eddy. So maybe you could land a float plane here, or maybe it's got to be an outfitter, a hunting outfitter. Is anyone home? Guess not. Well, that is a cool little riverboat though. Probably pretty hard to put it in the river from here. Considering this thing is too big to get on a float plane, this also means that someone bombed up here in this thing from the Mackenzie River, which is incredible. That's pretty cool. On top of being a place where you can have access to the water, it's not ripping current, and also it's above the high water line, and it's moose country. You know, this is definitely a spot where people have been stopping, camping out since back in the day. %. That's crazy. Yes. I was getting worried. All the drone batteries. 49% charge I got on this thing today. with basically no sun. Best news I've had in a long time. Awesome. So I've made it 75 kilometers so far. Not what I should be after day 3, but I think I'm doing pretty good, really. I'll pick up the pace when I get the chance. Using my Cold Steel Commercial Series fillet knife for this. Little slits in it like this. This is my beer. It says Jim Baird Adventures Windbound Campfire Pilsner. It's called Campfire Pilsner because there are some slightly smoked barley in there. So like the barley that it's made with is legitimately smoked. It's a delicious crisp Pilsner. It's actually available at the LCBO stores in Ontario as part of Muskoka Brewery's Survival Pack. It's a mixer pack with some other delicious brews. Other than that, you have to go to Muskoka Brewery's Tap House in Bracebridge, Ontario to pick it up. Oh, so good. Catching your own fish, cooking it up over the fire while traveling through the wilderness, it just seems so pure to me. I heard a famous psychologist say that to study a human in modern day society is like studying a zebra in a zoo. We really haven't been living in the modern world and cities with all this technology for very long. I'm always amazed that when I go out here and do these things, I have these like heightened senses and I can pick things up really quickly, like interesting things about nature and the concentric rings of nature. Tracking, just an awareness, a feeling, an intuition. And it makes me wonder if I can just have what I consider would be a strong intuition when I'm out here, a strong understanding and connection to the land, makes me wonder how crazy deep it is for some people, especially our ancestors, indigenous people that lived out here, survived out here since they were babies. Let's have a drink to that. Cheers. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Much nicer to wake up to than the rain yesterday. Notice this here. Looks like a bear cub print there. As you see, the toes end here, but the claw ends here. It dragged the claw a little bit. Just cruising right, you know, right around my tent, where my tent was, right there. When you live out here, you know, you live with the animals. This is their domain. I didn't take my food barrel walking away from camp last night. I probably would have if I'd seen those tracks when I got here though. Coffee's still hot. Perfect. I'm just looking for sheep on this mountain right across the river. to rock and roll. Well, we are on the water. It is day 4 of the adventure, and I'm gonna try to make it about 30K today, I've decided. Beautiful, beautiful stretch of river here. In fact, it just keeps getting nicer and nicer. This part's pretty easy going, but the whitewater is gonna pick back up today. I'm gonna have a pretty substantial big water rapid to run, some epic mountain scenery to go through, and maybe the fishing will pick up too with some more tributaries emptying into the river, so that's pretty exciting. Well, we're approaching Game Trail Creek here. My guess it's called that because many game trails lead up its valley. Oh, I see game prints right off the hop. It's a short growing season here, but there's a lot of sunlight, and that's why you get a lot of these wildflowers. So long, Game Trail Creek. You did not hold any fish. However, I saw a caribou. Got a good look at a young bull caribou walking along shore. Swam across the river. It smelled me. I was gonna cross at first right where I was, but it smelled me and decided to give me a wide berth and crossed just downriver from me, and I think trotted up Game Trail Creek. Pretty cool. Well, we got really tight corner coming up here where I could get pushed up against the wall. So I'm going to try to take this on the inside and back very left. Oh, that probably actually would have been fun as long as you stay out of that. It's not really pushing up against the wall, but if you hit there, you could get into some trouble. Well, I just pulled over for a quick second to take a couple casts in this absolutely gorgeous crystal clear water feeding into the Natla from this tributary. And I looked over to my right and just see an epic cascading waterfall pouring down off the mountaintop. Unbelievable. Look at that. Approaching a section where there's essentially a surprise rapid with giant standing waves. You can miss it and sneak by it on the right. Still a technical maneuver to do that, or you can bomb the big wave train. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but apparently it can kind of catch you by surprise, and you know, because there's tranquil river leading up to it, so I gotta be on my toes through this next stretch, and I'm probably gonna pull over and give it an eyeball there, scout it before deciding what the best move is. Yeah, this is the notes. I think this is it. We're gonna bomb the standing waves here, ladies and germs.
That way it was a little diagonal. Yeah. I don't think there was any way really to miss those. Oh, it was pretty easy. But the one diagonal wave caught me off guard a little. This is gonna be home for the night, and I'm leaving some serious action-packed adventure for tomorrow. Well, right as I'm pulling up here on what seems to be a good spot to camp, I see what looks like the remains of a very, very old fire pit. So I think this was a traditional Mountain Dene campsite here. They make these half-moon fireplaces with the rocks built into the back. Look at how this rock is laid, positioned right in there. So this was probably built at a time when the bank of the river was further away and it's eroded closer and closer to it. Looks like there was like once a little structure here, like a cabin type thing. I'm gonna put my tent right in the middle of it. Dinner tonight is kind of random. It's habitant pea soup. Yikes. Got my inReach here, and I can do a weather report on it, and it's like not looking good. Tomorrow is overcast, dumping rain. Then I have 2 days of part sun and cloud, and then it's like completely overcast and rain every day until day 12 of my trip. So I'm going to be paddling the keel in some interesting weather. We'll see. Weather reports can change, but yeah, that's going to be kind of not the most fun, especially tomorrow morning when I got to get out of the tent in the rain and bomb all those rapids in the cold and rain. So that's a tad concerning. Fini. That means finished in French.
I slept in hard this morning by 2 hours. I set my alarm for 6, hit the snooze button twice, then just hit off, then fell back asleep by accident. But I don't know, man. I think I needed to sleep big time. Like I slept like 8 solid hours and was still exhausted, and slept another full hour and a half. Like, wow, that's the most I've slept in years. I think just, you know, getting like 6-7 hours of sleep on the trip so far, and then having a couple nights before the trip in travel and stuff where I, you know, got like 4 hours sleep. It's all just like caught up to me, and I was like dead tired last night. So yeah, that feels good. It was also hammering rain this morning too, which isn't too motivating to when it comes to springing out of the tent. So anyways, yeah, hitting some rapids today. Huge ledge, fingers crossed. Should be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to making it. If I do dump, there could be a very long cold swim though, because it's not warm out today and there's just pushy consistent rapids with nowhere to get to shore. So that's the scary part, but should be a lot of fun if I do it all correctly. Happy place. Here we go.
That campsite was very beautiful. To me, I think it was the most meaningful. I look back at it and I swear that I could almost feel the presence of people from days gone by. Might pull over and scout this one out. I think this is the big rapid of the Natla here. I'm not nervous at all. Alone out here bombing this stuff, why should I be? I'm on a portage trail here. The Mountain Dene were the original ones to wear this trail around here. Definitely evidence of their old camp. Where I camped last night proves that they would have had to get by this rapid, whether going up or down river or both. When you're traveling this river, you're doing the same thing as these people in a lot of ways, and it's a lot easier to figure that kind of stuff out. Where if you're, you know, an anthropologist or historian and you're doing a lot of book research, it would take you a lot longer to figure that out. That's why I love the saying by J.R.R. Tolkien that the world is not in your books and maps, it's out there. Well, if you dump here, you just have this little space to get out. Otherwise, you're swept way down to the next rapid there. It's a tricky lineup, and there's some tough water above the hard part too. Yeah, baby! Woo! Yeah, I'm bombing a whitewater canyon in the Northwest Territory! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Nice. Not safe yet. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. I think we're gonna see some more really interesting water here today. Hopefully we see it with the right side of the canoe up. I think I'm getting closer to the keel though, guys.
It was as if a new and even more perfect picture revealed itself to me around each bend. What an absolutely beautiful river the Natla is.
I see the Keel River. Yeah! I did it. Well, I just pulled over here at the confluence of the Natla and the Keel rivers, and there's a waterfall coming down the mountain right in front of me to greet me, which is amazing. I've paddled 115 kilometers, but I have 460 kilometers left to go, and I have 16 days total. That gives me 11 days because today's day 5. Here are the other things that are going in my rubaboo stew. This is my homemade pemmican, equal parts lard, dried pulverized berries, and dried pulverized moose meat. Some other just cut meat. This is canned corned beef. We got some beef broth. Then cornstarch is a thickening agent. Cornstarch works. Then we're putting in some canned corn and some canned mushrooms as well. The word rubaboo is from an old pidgin language, which is a combination of other languages. In this case, French and Cree. I don't know what dialect of Cree. It comes from 2 words, roux, which is a French word for a thickening agent, and abou, which is a Cree word for soup or stew. And this was a traditional table fare of the coureur de bois in the fur trade era. I think it's the corned beef. I've used like diced bison, so you get like hunks of meat in it before. That was epic. Tori made that one though. So I think this is the best one I've ever made. Now I have 46K a day to do roughly. So I really have my work cut out for me. But the trip is far from over. I have some incredibly beautiful river country to travel through. The fishing's supposed to be good on the Keel as well, much clearer river on average, and then a challenge on the Mackenzie, which is massive with winds that I'm going to be potentially battling. So lots more adventure to come, to say the least.